What's up, Bat family? Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. Having a happy Easter. Right now we are kicking off the weekly Zoom call, and to be totally honest, the audio quality wasn't very good on the very first one that I recorded, so here we are again, doing it all over. So, this week we're covering the medium and high impact economic news for this upcoming trading week. This week is a new trading month. Today is the start of April 1st. So this week is non-farm payroll week, as it will be the first Friday of the month. Now, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and join my free Telegram channel. The link is in the video description, and I also am on Instagram and Twitter, X, as well as TikTok. Links for those are in the video description. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the news, and then we'll go over the trading pairs that we cover, which are gold this week, the NASDAQ, and I don't believe I'm going to cover any Forex this week, so just gold and the NASDAQ and Bitcoin, and we may look at XRP as well. But without further ado, let's dive into the news. Alright, so this week we have high impact news for Monday, an hour and a half into New York Open. We have ISM Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index. Followed by that, we have monetary policy meeting minutes for the Australian dollar later that evening for Asia session. On Tuesday, shortly after New York Open, hour and a half, right at 7 a.m. PST, we have JOLTS job openings for the US dollar, which will also be a high-impact news event. Should cause significant volatility, followed by a FOMC member speaking. Wednesday, we have CPI for we have Consumer Price Index for the euro. We have OPEC meetings, which typically has to deal with just overall oil production in the global oil production. Yeah, I mean, they talk about other stuff too, but mostly has to deal with oil and oil production. Following that event, we have non-farm employment change on Wednesday. So just basically pre-NFP, pre-New York Open, 15 minutes before the Open, right at 5:15 a.m. Then we have a Fed member speaking later that morning, a couple hours later, as well as right before London Open that evening, we have Consumer Price Index for the Swiss franc. On Thursday, we have unemployment claims for the US dollar, followed by 2 Fed member speeches. And Friday, we have Canadian unemployment changes, and unemployment rate will be released, followed by the US dollar non-farm payroll and US dollar unemployment rates. Now we'll quickly just look at daily effects as that covers some of the news that isn't on Forex Factory. So let's see here. We also have South Korean inflation rates. Monday, Asia, right at Asia Open, it seems, shortly into Asia Open. We have inflation rates for Germany, Tuesday during New York Open. On Wednesday, we have core inflation rates for the euro, Mexico unemployment rates, 10-year bond auctions for 10-year Bund auction for Germany. Interesting. Bund. We have a few Fed members speaking, as we already covered. Unemployment rates for Poland. What else do we have here? European Central Bank monetary policy on Thursday, right before New York Open. That should be real interesting. Followed by Mexico consumer confidence. Yeah, Thursday is going to be real volatile day. Then lastly, Friday, unemployment claims for USD, unemployment claims for Canadian dollar, non-farm payroll for US dollar. And overall, that's how we're going to end the week in terms of news. Next, let's head to gold. So gold, the market is already open since I've done this analysis, and so far, or when I did the analysis earlier, and so far, gold is playing out as I had anticipated. So first things first, let's go over some of the technicals I had applied on here, and we're going to just kind of go over everything again. Alrighty, so I've decided that while I'm doing these weekly analysis videos, I'm going to just basically walk you guys through my process and just kind of spit out little tidbits that I don't typically include as I just kind of go through my own process and do this. I realized that by not explaining those things and other little tips and tricks, I am really not giving you all the value that you could be receiving out of these. So that's what I'm going to start doing, and stay tuned. I will be having some more educational videos being released this week. Found the direction that I want to be headed, and I see the need that that a lot of retail traders need. So I want to provide that value and be that resource. So as we can see here, I've marked off our previous week's low. That's what you want to do. First things first, just when you're pushing the chart, mark off the previous week's low. As you can see on the right hand side, that really big bullish candle right at the bottom is previous week's low. I marked off the previous week's high right here, which is this candle. And this candle right here is the weekly open. This is how we started the week so far. Just strong bullish candle open. Picking up a last week. We had Good Friday last week, so market was an open Friday. And so this is really just the volume, the movement that was really going to happen already on Friday. And so since there was no trading activity, volume popping off, the market's ready to move. So what I see for gold is here we may continue higher up to the 2300 price range, maybe even a little higher than that. Currently my first first area of interest was 2250, which we did hit since this open. To see the overall idea where we're getting these projections from for gold, we would look at the Fibonacci retracement tool and apply it on a higher time frame, such as the monthly. To properly apply the Fibonacci tool, retracement tool, you're going to go from the lowest point of a particular move to the highest point of a particular move. So if you're measuring a bullish movement in a bullish market, trying to find a new higher high or a potential higher high, the overall projection area where price may go, you're going to start from the lowest point of the bullish candle of that higher low point up to the higher high point of the bullish candle before we had a retracement to make the higher low. So this instance, low to high, higher low in this area, and then higher high. So first projection area, 2242, price was hit. We have strong bullish open this week. Next area of interest we're looking at where price could potentially reach is 2360. Now that's a stretch, although it can definitely do so. Price is very, very bullish and just may continue driving higher through the month of April. To properly use Fibonacci retracements, I would not really focus on the retracement levels like 38.2, 50%, 61.8, 78.6, 88.6. Those are, focusing on those will really detract from your trading. You're just going to be anticipating something when you should just be looking at liquidity and supply and demand and the price action. So really only use, or for me myself, I really only use Fibonacci's now for these projection levels only, just to get an idea where price may be headed to on the overall higher time frame. I don't really find these to be too reliable, which is why we need to focus on supply and demand, liquidity, support, resistance, and the price action. But it's a good tool to see where price could be headed overall longer term. But yeah, currently we're right where we need to be. Price may come back and retest this particular area. Now that we're making a high on the weekly time frame, we could be coming back down to take out the weekly open price and tap right at this area of supply. We could hit this area of demand right at 2220 before we continue higher. However, we have this stronger area of support where price had to break above to make this bullish move happen. So let's just make this a bit bigger here so we can see a bit better. Alright, so on the left hand side we're on the 12-hour time frame, and on the right hand side we're on the weekly time frame. If you zoom in on the right hand side, you can see that if price breaks below the open price right here, we may come down and retest this level of support right at 2210 to 2200. And then from there we could see a reaction and then continue higher. This is realistically what I see for the week. This initial move was just to get liquidity in, to get buyers in to try and continue push this higher, but I do believe that we're going to start coming down to this area before we see another rally or another large bullish push up to that overall projection point. Overall for gold, still bullish, and price still looking to head higher. We just may have a pullback first down to this area before we continue higher. And last week I did call one signal for those that were available and took it or did happen to see it. I did call gold buys, and here they were right down here. It was enter at 21.70, stop loss 21.63, take profit 21.85, and this was Monday open. This first move right here on this risk to reward tool. I'd actually called the trade right back here, so if you had entered right at the initial call, you would have been some drawdown unless you got at the lower end of the price range that I said to enter on. You would not have been stopped out. Price had a strong move up to 2181.4, basically 2180. Instructed to close at 2176, so we secured a gain of a $6 to $8 movement, which would be 60 to 80 pips, and then from there we called it a day. That was a really solid setup. But we could have taken the same trade, though, as you can see right here, where I have the second risk reward tool. I had taken this setup myself, just because I had executed myself and wasn't in the proper focus to execute a signal and monitor that and manage that for everyone. So I had taken this on my own. As you can see, it took off, hit the take profit at 21.85, the original take profit point I was anticipating last week. If you watched the last week's technical analysis video, weekly analysis video, you would have seen that this is what we were anticipating for the week ahead. And so you can see that take profit was hit. Then this was just a forward testing setup, was just trying to see what would happen. Just took the setup on TradingView and wanted to see how it played out. And yeah, this was a clean move. But overall, called one signal, 60 to 80 pip trade. And yeah, going to have more coming this week. Hopefully we can get 3 to 5 signals called this week. That'd be really ideal, and hopefully I can be available for you guys. That would be fantastic. Alrighty, next we're going to cover the NASDAQ 100 here. So the NASDAQ, for the analysis this week that I'm seeing, price may come down to this point here, the 18,100, 18,000 price range. This area right here could be called a fair value gap, but this is the analysis we were looking at last week. Last week, price mostly ranged in between these particular points here, where the previous week's high is and the previous week's low is. So just as on gold, that's what we're marking off first. You're looking for the previous week's low and high, marking them off, and then seeing what the next points of interest are. So to start the week, what I was seeing earlier when I recorded this is that price may drive up into this point here. And we're seeing that based off the higher time frame and the weekly time frame here. And as you can see, the weekly time frame, this weekly candle did not open with the pullback. It just opened and pushed straight up. So to me, right at this area, price needs to make a decision. Right now, it's not really doing anything. It's trying to decide if it's going to continue higher or move lower. To me, I believe, or not believe, but from what I'm seeing here, it looks like we may drive right up to this point and then come down, break below the weekly low that we just made, and break below the previous week's low, which will initiate a strong bearish movement down to this point here. There's a lot of liquidity sitting right here, a lot of sell stop orders here, so if price does push down to the 18,200 point, it's very likely that price will continue pushing lower. So that is what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ this week. We can see that this point here is a make or break point area. We need a major wick rejection here for price to continue this overall pattern. Otherwise, this candle is just going to keep pushing higher and make a new all-time high. Ultimately, I'm still seeing the 18,500 price point, 18,600 and possibly beyond for the NASDAQ 100 here. And same thing, if you go to a higher time frame, weekly or monthly, and use the Fibonacci retracement tool, we can get ideas of where the higher time frame overall projections are for this particular pair. So you can see from the lowest higher low point, higher high, higher low, price reacted from this Fibonacci level, took off. You can see that the first projection area was at the 17,000, or nearly right at 18,000. No, yeah, this is 1,007. 17,400. My apologies. Right at the 17,400 price point. Then from there, as you can see, price just continued to move much higher. You can see that the next overall projection level is the 19185, so 19,200, 19,000 price range, as I just stated. And we can go ahead and adjust this since there has been some more pullbacks and overall bullish movement since then. So you can adjust this on the weekly time frame to get a better fit on the current price action. So same concept on the weekly time frame, higher low point here to the higher high point here, which is this point here. From this push to this push, higher low, push to the overall projection, slight pullback, and yeah, we're still looking 18,000, 1800, 18,600 price range, right in the zone. So we may see that upcoming this week if price breaks above this previous week's high. There's a good chance we may do so just based on how the weekly candle just opened. Really, where this blue line is, this is the point that price needed to open and just reject from. This is more of the extreme range in price here, right in this area of supply. But given how strong this volume is, given how we have no clear signs of strong rejection quite yet. They may come in, but as of right now, I'm not certain if this bearish move is going to happen. We would need more data, 1, 2, before we can determine that, and 2, all it takes is one more bullish candle here and she's gone. So I wouldn't bet against this quite yet. Actually, not at all, up until this little area width is broken and a bearish candle, strong bearish engulfing candle, is closed right below this point. So we would need to see, oh, let me adjust this. We would need to see a bearish candle, kind of how we're pushing now. I mean, it's just open volume, so can't really determine anything yet. Just push down, break below that point right here. That's going to give us our clue that price is going to go lower. Without that, price is going to continue moving higher. So that's our first clue, major indication that we need before we can actually take sells on this petition, on this pair. Next, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin has been following the analysis from last week. We never broke below the higher low point here. We just continue to make a strong bullish rally, and currently price is facing some indecision, trying to determine if it's going to continue to push higher. I believe that it is, as if it was going to go lower, well, I believe it already would have happened. We can see strong bullish candles on the weekly time frame here. This previous week's candle just closed strong bullish candle. It wasn't quite like that earlier in the analysis. Price was down here when I had made it earlier today, and as you can see, this 12-hour candle closed strong with a strong bullish candle, literally no wick, just a full solid body. And ultimately, price is looking to respect the all-time high and make a new all-time high, looking to drive up to 82,000 and possibly up to the 90,000 price range, and then up to the 110,000 price range beyond that point. But for this week and possibly this month, well, not possibly this month, definitely for sure this month, but possibly this week, we may see that this all-time high is going to be broken and we may hit 80,000 for Bitcoin. There is a chance that we could have a strong reaction from this all-time high level of resistance, but just given on the higher time frame, it looks clear as day that we're just going to keep pushing higher. There's a lot of momentum here. If we look at the monthly time frame, though, there is a chance we could retest the $65,000 price point. We could see just a retest of that support and then a continuation higher. If price does end up moving to that point, and if for some reason it breaks below 65,000 and comes to 60,000, price would need to absolutely sustain 60,000. Otherwise, we're going to see 50,000. 60,000 is a major psychological level of support, and we really should be sustaining above it. However, 65,000 needs to hold first. From that point, I would be a little wary of 60,000 holding, as there would be a lot of momentum for price to continue moving lower. Overall, bullish on Bitcoin, still going to move higher, following the previous week's analysis perfectly, and it's just going to continue to rally. I was anticipating price to come back and retest 65,000 exactly last week, but we didn't. As you can see, it just pushed, consolidated for a little while, and ready to make its another leg up. As you can see, it's following the same pattern. Consolidation, push, consolidation, push. And so I'm looking forward to how this week plays out. Should be very exciting and should bring most pairs with it. So for most other general currency, cryptocurrency pairs, I should just keep moving right on up. Very exciting times. Lastly, we'll look at XRP real quick here. This pair has just been ranging between 64 to 60 cents. It's definitely developing consolidation and ready to break out here. On the weekly time frame, we have a lot of indecision, but we have more bullish price action than we do bearish. We have more bullish body closes than we do bearish. However, this previous week's candle, how we just closed about 1 hour ago, indecision. We have no clear direction currently. I still believe that price is going to move bullish this particular upcoming month. But as of now, we're in this range here. We need to break above 65 cents. And that's going to be the momentum that we need, the catalyst that we need for price to drive to 75 cents and to 90 cents. This is a really good breakout setup here for those momentum and breakout traders. Right at the break of 66 cents could be a really good buy stop order. I can see a lot of liquidity here. There's other traders with pending orders ready to take the setup as well. Once this price breaks above 66 cents, it's just going to rocket up to 75 and potentially break above higher, as this point should or appears to be a smart money trap and ultimately looking to trap some of these sellers in here, and that will be the liquidity to drive the price higher. However, if XRP breaks below out of the 60 cent to 65 cent range, there is a good chance we may see the 55 cent price range get tapped, and that would be another good opportunity to buy at a lower price. But currently, I do believe this area is going to hold, and I do believe it's just waiting on some strong bullish volume here. You can kind of see some indications on the daily time frame. Price not making new lows, it's just holding where it's at, and you can see a lot of accumulation happening here. It's all choppy, but there's more buying pressure, more buying data than there is bearish. So overall, price is still looking good, and really anticipating for this pair to just continue moving as it is. As of now, it is at very fair price, so still very good price to start accumulating and to continue accumulating. But once it breaks out of this 75 cent price range above this point, it's going to start getting expensive. So for now and up until 75 cents, it's a really good chance, it's a really good opportunity to continue to add to your portfolio and continue buying. Well, that's it. That's all I have for you guys this week. If you have not joined my free Telegram channel, go ahead and do so. The link is in the video description. I offer lots of news, updates weekly, and nearly daily actually. Now, this week I'm going to be very active and will be providing 3 to 5 trading signals, including to the free channel as well. Stay tuned for that. Keep notifications turned on. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, follow me at BuildATrader, at B.A.T Signals. The page links are in the video description as well. Those are my only 2 profiles. Anyone else, it's not me. Go ahead and follow me on X, follow me on TikTok, and like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Like I said, I will be having more educational videos put out this week, which will go over more strategy, which will go over how to execute trades, which will go over how to use TradeLocker, DXTrade, and ultimately educate you guys on prop firms and how to approach the market for your own success. I am about to obtain my Series 65, which will allow me to be a FINRA licensed registered investment advisor. And so there are really not too many other retail traders out there who are officially licensed by FINRA. So I will be one of them. And so with that, I would like to be a really good resource for everyone. This would be 6.5 years of trading so far, and in November would be 7 years. So really would like to start taking things up a level and being a resource for you all for content that isn't really widely available out there. Hope you guys have a great trading week. Stay tuned, keep notifications on, and I'll see you next week. Peace.